Olá, bom dia a todos. Sejam muito bem-vindos à nossa meditação diária da Sahaja. Aqui é a Cláudia. É uma grande alegria iniciarmos juntos esta manhã, cuidando dessa semente que o Divino plantou em nós. Vamos trazer atenção ao nosso interior, respirando de forma lenta, profunda, com os braços, as mãos relaxadas, as mãos no colo, com as palmas voltadas para cima, os pés plantados no chão. Vamos trazer a atenção e a nossa mão ao nosso coração. Mãe, por favor, conduza a nossa meditação. Shrimatas, Mãe Divina, por favor, venha em nossos corações e nos nossos lares. Por favor, abençoe a nossa meditação, removendo todos os obstáculos em nosso ambiente de meditação. Agora, com toda a nossa atenção, vamos elevar a nossa Kundalini e nos colocarmos sob bandas de proteção, tendo cuidado de dar os nós acima da cabeça e passar a mão direita nos arcos de proteção também acima da cabeça e a mão esquerda voltada para a foto de Shrimatas. Podemos fazer isso de olhos abertos. Vamos agora trazer a nossa atenção ao nosso Muladhara Chakra, na base da nossa coluna, nossa mão esquerda no colo, com a palma voltada para cima, nossa mão direita voltada para a Mãe Terra. Shri Ganesha, nós seremos dignos de tua atenção, por favor, torna-nos inocentes de forma que nós estejamos em tua atenção. Shrimatas, Mãe Divina, por favor, dá-nos, a Senhora que é Shri Ganesha, por favor, dá-nos sabedoria e discernimento. Mantra Shri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Agora a nossa atenção vai ao nosso osso sacro, aonde reside a nossa Kundalini. Mãe Kundalini, por favor, acenda em nosso corpo sutil, por favor, purifique todos os nossos chakras, todo o nosso corpo sutil. Mantra Shri Gauri Kundalini Mata. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Gauri Kundalini Mata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Agora nossa atenção se direciona ao nosso canal esquerdo, todo o lado esquerdo do nosso corpo, na altura da testa. O Agni esquerdo fica na nossa têmpora direita, a nossa mão esquerda no colo, com a palma voltada para cima, a nossa mão direita voltada para a Mãe Terra. Mãe, por favor, purifica o nosso canal esquerdo. Por favor, ilumina as nossas emoções, o nosso canal esquerdo. Por favor, faça de nós pessoas emocionalmente equilibradas e inteligentes. Vamos agora direcionar nossa atenção ao nosso canal direito, a nossa mão direita no colo, com a palma voltada para cima, e a nossa mão esquerda voltada para trás, com os dedos apontados para o alto. Nós dobramos o braço esquerdo, de forma que a nossa mão esquerda fique direcionada para trás. A nossa atenção em todo o nosso canal esquerdo, nosso canal direito, em todo o nosso lado direito do corpo, e na altura da testa se direciona ao lado esquerdo da nossa têmpora, da nossa cabeça, onde fica o nosso Agni direito. E aqui nós vamos pedir: Mãe, por favor, purifica e ilumina o nosso canal direito. Por favor, purifica nossos pensamentos, ilumina nossas ações e nossos planejamentos. Por favor, ilumina a nossa atenção, que a nossa atenção esteja apenas em coisas auspiciosas. Faça de nós pessoas pacíficas e dinâmicas. Podemos abaixar a nossa mão esquerda e agora a nossa atenção se direciona ao nosso canal central e nós vamos fazer um movimento com a mão direita em forma de concha, convidando com todo amor, com todo desejo, um desejo intenso e forte, de forma que nós elevemos a nossa Kundalini pelo nosso canal central. Vamos fazer esse movimento passando a nossa mão em forma de concha por todo o canal central, em todos os chakras, até o Sahasrara. Nós vamos fazer esse movimento por 3 vezes. passando pelo Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Nabhi Void, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agnya, o Sahasrara. Vamos fazer esse movimento por mais 2 vezes, com todo o desejo, com toda a atenção, sentindo a sua Kundalini se elevando pelo canal central. Agora nossa atenção permanece no Sahasrara, em nosso Sahasrara. Podemos fazer uma leve pressão com a mão direita, girando no sentido horário. Mãe, por favor, estabiliza a nossa realização do Si. Por favor, Mãe, esteja em nosso Sahasrara. Por favor, estabeleça a nossa união com Deus, a nossa yoga, a nossa união com esse poder divino do amor de Deus, o poder que nos criou. Podemos abaixar a nossa mão direita e, com todo respeito, atenção, as mãos receptivas, as mãos abertas no colo, de forma receptiva, nós vamos, com toda a nossa atenção, respeito e amor, receber a nossa Divina Mãe e assistir o discurso sobre o poder da Kundalini proferido em 1981.
Today I told you about Kundalini, and that Kundalini is the pure desire within us. That manifests or is awakened to give us our self-realization. Means the desire is only fulfilled when you get your self-realization. Otherwise, it is not manifested. It is just dormant. It is still residual. It has created the whole within us. But until and unless you get self-realization, unless and until you become one with your spirit, you have not achieved the manifestation of this power, which will go on making you run and run and run, thinking that you have not yet achieved or you have not found out your way. It will be there all the time, sleeping, but giving you a feeling of vacuum. So this power must be made to manifest. But when it manifests, what's it? What happened? Why, let it be. Let it be. Come. What happened? Come here. What's happening? Huh? So, all right? Good. Now one has to keep quiet, all right? Then this power has got certain quality. The first quality it has got, this is urdhva, which it goes against the gravity. It goes against the gravity. You see, a thing rises. It doesn't go down. So, a person has to be aspiring by nature. If a person is not aspiring type, the Kundalini doesn't rise. Because like, you see, when food passes down our stomach, it presses the sides of the intestine. By that, these movements of going down takes place. You see my point? So when the Kundalini starts and starts pressing on the sides of the chakra, she creates a feeling of throwing it higher and higher. So the chakras bounce it up. All the heavy things all go down. But the Kundalini rises higher and higher and higher because it is like fire. Fire never burns downward. It always burns up. She looks also like fire. And she has the capacity of fire. The fire has a capacity to purify and to burn off whatever can be burnt off. It purifies the things which it cannot burn and burns off the things which are inflammable, which can be burnt off. Come now, come. So the quality of fire that exists in the Kundalini burns off whatever is useless. Like in our house, we find all the useless things. Then we take them in the garden and burn them. Finished. Once for all, they are finished. So when the Kundalini rises, she also burns up all useless things. All your useless desires, your useless ideas of action, all sorts of useless accumulation of feelings and egos and every sort of a nonsensical thing that is in between. Everything is burnt up because they can be burnt. They are not eternal by nature. They are not eternal by nature. They are temporarily there. All that is temporary, she burns up. And that's how she enlightens the spirit. Because spirit cannot be burned by anything. But this burning is so beautiful that it burns up all that is bad, stagnating, all that is polluting, all that is the disease, and cools down the system. It is very interesting to see how this power of fire becomes a cool breeze. But in the science also you find that electricity can give you hot breeze or cool breeze. You can transform from one to another. But there is no ultimate for these. They are always reversible. Supposing something becomes a magnetism, you can always convert into electricity. Electricity can always be converted into magnetism. But Kundalini is such a thing that once she burns off everything that is there, that's how you get heat, because she's burning. But when she cools down and becomes cool, then she's not reversing. That's why it is a living process. Living process is never reversible. All dead processes can be reversible. But anything that is reversible, now supposing you are grown up, you cannot become a little baby. Whatever you may try. You may have any number of operations, you cannot become. Now you are grown up. Now you are modern, overdeveloped. You may try anything to become a primitive person. You cannot. You just cannot. Whatever you may try, that will be all very artificial. You may just feel that you have become primitive by wearing some sort of a dress, by feeling that, oh, now there's no modernism in us and now we have become very, very subdued. Nothing like that. It is curable but not reversible. But it's a living process. So Kundalini within us expedites the living process within us of our evolution. So the power of Kundalini is to purify. She purifies us like fire. She doesn't purify us like water. Surprise. She doesn't purify us like water. Now water, what does the water do? Water never burns off anything. But it dissolves certain things. It can take in something within itself. See? It can contain some of the dirt within itself. Supposing you put a color in the water, it assumes the color. But Kundalini does not assume the color. She burns. Do you follow my point? So if you have anything wrong within you, she'll burn it off. But she'll not absorb. She's pure. She cannot absorb those things into her that will pollute her. She cannot be polluted. This quality of fire, say for example, if you put fire, gold in fire, silver in fire, you can purify it. The pure form comes. That's how you know. But if you put gold and fire in water, nothing will happen. At the most, you can wash them from outside. But in and out, you cannot do it. So outwardly, you can do with other things. But with Kundalini, you do in and out. The face also looks beautiful, as if some glazing has taken place on the face. A new, bright face. It's not sallow, neither it is horribly burning, nor is it pale and ugly looking, but it becomes radiant, radiance. That's what Kundalini gives you. It looks also as if a molten iron. Have you seen molten iron? Pillar of, supposing you take a pillar of iron and heat it to a point where it starts showing copper, every color in it. Copperish and all sorts of color you see. See, golden, copperish and all that. You see, like a furnace. But very silent. Very silent. It works out. Now the sound of Kundalini, I have told you in one of my lectures, how it creates sound. For example, at Vishuddhi, it creates the sound of all the vowels that are in Sanskrit language. The English vowels are very few. Sanskrit language are a, I, u, ru, lulu, a, I, o, au, ah. These are the sounds that Vishuddhi can. She creates sounds on all the chakras. But when she comes to Navi, it becomes the one. Vani means information. Coded information. That's the real entity. Coded information. First it is the Paravani, which you don't hear. When it rises from the Kundalini point, means Muladhara chakra, and Muladhara, then it is not heard. There's no sound. Then it comes to the stomach, the Paravani starts. Then it comes into the center, where in the heart, always you hear it, Madhyama, where you can hear it, just like heart, properly. With the stethoscope you can hear it. Then it comes to Vishuddhi, it becomes a witness, means Pashyanti, the one who sees. You might have noticed yourself when you are caught up in Vishuddhi, you feel the thing going on here. But here she sees. Then this sound, which is the sound with which we speak, when it comes to the throat, it becomes Vaikhari. We say. This is even before the Kundalini is there, the Vani, the coded information, the language, which is first only coded, becomes decoded here. It's called Vaikhari, it talks. But after realization, the Kundalini enlightens the Vani, as it enlightens everything. Because of that enlightenment, your mantras become enlightened. And that's how, when you say a mantra, it is effective. It's lighted. Before this, any mantra said has no meaning. It's just ordinary Vani, just like any ordinary. So it is called as the mantra which is Jagrut, awakened. So a mantra which is Jagrut cannot be created out of a mantra which is not enlightened. Like if you have, say, a earthen pot or an earthen thing like this, or this one as it is, and you have all the oil and everything there, still it won't give light till it is enlightened. In the same way, the mantra is nothing, it's just a dead pot. Unless and until it is enlightened by Kundalini, it is from ordinary Vani, which cannot give you enlightenment, and which cannot give enlightenment to the mantras. And that's why these mantras have no meaning at all. A person whose spirit is enlightened and his Vani is enlightened, such a person, whatever he says comes true. Whatever he asks for happens. Even before he says something, the desire within us, which is the Paravani, which is the coded information of the desire you have, becomes enlightened. And that's how you get the result. Suddenly you get something, you said, oh, I have struck the jackpot. And mother has done it. That's how it works. The whole system works out this way of Kundalini. So this pure Kundalini creates purity. Without the purity, we cannot see anything that is impure. Say my hands are not clean, I can't see the lines. Anything that is dirty, you cannot see the real picture. You cannot see the reality if it is not being purified. But even if it is superficially purified or artificially painted, still you can always say that it is artificially painted and we cannot see the beauty of this one because this is done from outside. But Kundalini burns off it, makes everything into ash. And whatever remains is the pure gold of the spirit within.
Estamos chegando ao final. Vamos observar como estão as nossas vibrações. Vamos trazer as nossas duas mãos na altura dos nossos corações, as mãos abertas. Vamos perceber como estão as nossas vibrações, se sentimos frescor, algum calor. Se você não sentiu frescor, apenas entregue a sua mãe Kundalini. Entregue e apenas diga: eu te entrego, mãe, eu te entrego. Este bloqueio não me pertence, eu te entrego. Podemos agora elevar a nossa Kundalini e nos colocarmos sob bandas de proteção. Tenham todos um excelente dia, um excelente final da semana, com muitas vibrações, muita paz, muita alegria. Que possamos levar essas vibrações por todos os lugares, por todas as pessoas, para todas as pessoas que encontrarmos e emitirmos essas vibrações de paz por todo o universo, por todo mundo. Espalharmos os conhecimentos, as vibrações de amor e de paz da nossa Divina Mãe. Levarmos a realização do si a todas as pessoas que desejarem. Namastê, Jai Shri Mataji. Até a nossa próxima meditação. E não esqueçam de procurar o endereço, o contato do coletivo da sua cidade para você experimentar as meditações presenciais e as vibrações das meditações coletivas presenciais. Namastê, Jai Shri Mataji.